Welcome one, welcome all to the Morning Post. Yes, Saturday morning, brought to you by the Racing Post, sponsored by William Hill. For the next hour or so, we're going to be giving you previews on the Saturday. We're going to be beaming in a decent guest. We've got a cracking panel for you. And of course, we'll be talking about a certain week in the Cotswolds coming up. And everything that might go with it. Let's hear from you out there. It's a like and subscribe show. Go if you're watching on the YouTube channel. Thumbs up. That's all you've got to do. The community is there. This week we'll be trying to get you a shout out. Let's hear your Cheltenham naps. Now we kind of know where everything's running. I think we do. If you're watching on Twitter, X, whatever it is, hashtag The Morning Post. Let's ramp it up, shall we? Great to have you with us this morning. It's kind of calm before the storm, isn't it? Let's go straight down the panel, shall we? Kate Tracey joins me. Let's go to you first, Kate. How are you?
I'm good. The voice would say otherwise, but yeah, it's been a long last couple of weeks, all the preview night circuits as well, but we're still holding on because the main event's still to come, so I need the energy reserves to come to the fore. I
know. I've been looking at your socials, Kate. I don't think you sleep, actually. So,
no, I can't remember the last time. Yeah.
And just tell us about next week, because you, for the last couple of years, you've been riding out for a certain string, haven't you?
A certain one, yeah, certain big string as well. Yeah, Willie Mullins has been so lucky for the last 3 years. So 4 years in a row now. The first batch are coming over tonight.
Wow.
So go and see them tonight, drop the saddle off, ride out tomorrow, Monday again then. And then the crazy train just starts with them all constantly flooding in every day from then on.
Breaking news then, Willie Mullins and Close Sutton team comes over tonight. And Kate will be going to meet all those stars. Talking to stars, Graeme Rodway, Paul Kealy, in for another bout. How are we, gents?
Yeah, very well. Thanks, Dave.
You look all right. I mean, you've had an argument somewhere along the line this morning, haven't you? I do believe that's a razor cut, is it, somehow?
Yeah, a bit of a row on my razor this morning.
How does it... I mean, that nearly took your eye off, mate.
Yeah, I'm a bit careless. So, luckily I missed the eye, but maybe Willie can get me out on a few. What do you reckon?
What?
Riding out.
Woo! I think there's.
I think I struggle.
I think there's dreams, and I think there's other universes, aren't there? I'm looking at you, Keels, because this is the point where you usually get flu, or you've been battered by previews. Has it been a busy week?
It's been a busy week. I've only done 1 week. I used to do 2, and I have largely behaved myself. So I'm in a better state, but I am quite tired.
Well, and it is quite hot in here as well, isn't it? So it's sort of sucking it out of us slightly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Shall we go up to William Hill, trading floor? We open it up for you guys. We give you all the prices as they happen. Jamie McBride is in the house. J-Mac, a happy Saturday morning.
Morning, Dave. Just looking at anti-post field books. It'd be good if G-Rod picked up the ride on Ballyburn. That would help.
Yes, indeed. He's one that could have your trousers down, isn't he? Each Saturday, as you know, we give you a William Hill bet boost. Right, drum roll, J-Mac. What's it going to be? I believe we're looking for a hot pot of the Cheltenham Festival here, are we?
Yeah, I think this one would be popular, given what Gordon Elliott's been saying about brighter days ahead is this week's boost. We're going 2-1 from 11 to 8 for the usual £50 up to around midday. Obviously, there was only 13 left in, so it looks as though it's going to be smaller than usual field. But I think you're definitely paying a little bit of a hype tax with this one, given what's been said about her. She was pretty close in the betting to Jade DeGrody until the last few days and all the preview circuits, etc., and Elliott's been talking her up. So hopefully she's one we can get beat on Thursday afternoon.
Ooh, we could hear the anticipation out there. So there you go. It's live on the site, on the app. Get involved at William Hill if you want to, for up to 50 quid, live now. 2-1, brighter days ahead. We'll see what the panel make of that boost as we go on. Right, regular viewers will know that we have a really good, stellar panel of tips. We've got Johnny Dineen coming on to talk all things Ireland, but also give us his thoughts now that he knows pretty much what's running as well. Don't miss that. Johnny will be joining us for about 10:30. Let's get the papers up though, shall we? And we'll open up these beautiful Racing Posts, Saturday Racing Posts. We'll show you what you can get for your money in there. That festival feeling, it says. Let's get him up on the screen then and go through. There it is. They're all there. Oh, yeah. Keels made the front page. You didn't, G-Rod. Tom Segal in the middle there. There you go, that festival feeling. And, of course, we're looking at the EBF final. One of the first races we'll be previewing at Sandown. Serious form race last year. But Hastings thrown in off a mark of 1:19 for John Joe O'Neill, says Robbie Wilders. We'll be getting to that. Skelton talking about Cheltenham, edging towards Turners for Grey Dawning. If the ground stays soft, looks like that's going to be the way. A Thursday trip then for Grey Dawning is on the cards. Not just Willie doing it, of course. Here we see the verdict is unanimous, says David Jennings, Deputy Ireland Editor. Ballyburn is the banker of all bankers at the Cheltenham Festival. You can go and read that, of course. DJ's piece in the paper. Members Club, you can find that. Here are your price-wise selections today. Then we give you all this premium content free on the Morning Post. Making headway can make you some cash in Imperial Teaser. You've gone for Champagne Twist in the EBF, along with Dartmoor Pirate for Anthony Honeyball. Making headway in the Imperial, and at Wolverhampton, where there's a really good card today, of course, on ITV, Ben Aker in the 3:15. Here we go then. This is a bit controversial, isn't it? Corbett's Cross is my banker of the meeting. That's David Jennings again. Sorry, DJ, I'm the total opposite. He can't jump and he might not stay. Someone in this very studio might have come back with that retort. What do you make of Corbett's Cross then? It looks like he might go a favourite for the National Hunt Chase, doesn't it? All right, there's your paper roundup. Shall we get straight in to the Saturday previews? Because there's, I don't know, it's sort of like calm before the storm meeting, this, isn't it? Imperial Cup Day. Well, they used to have the bonus, of course, in the 2-mile handicap. But it's the EBF final where we're going to try and find a winner for you, first of all, today. How does everyone feel about this day? Are you sort of sitting pretty on your Cheltenham money, or are you thinking, no, I'm going to try and boost it? Let us know. Get your comments and questions in for the panel. Let's start off here then. J-Mac, hash thing. We saw the headline there. I napped it. You'll know what that means. I napped it when it ran behind Making Headway. It's fair to say he never looked like making any headway behind that horse at Newbury last time out, where the ground was a bit quicker than they expected, but also it looked like he might want to step up in trip. And for JP McManus, he's been the money horse, right?
He has, yeah. He's been popular all week. I think you were a bit unlucky that day, really. It was a bit of a farce of a race. Making Headway nicked a few lengths from the tapes going up, and it was slowly run. So you can probably put a line through that. That said, I mean, he's short enough around 3-1. We are 5 places on this race, and so there's been a good spread of business. As you mentioned, Tom put up a couple of selections. Dartmoor Pirate seems to be the one punters have latched on to. That's definitely been more popular with 2. And he's currently the worst result.
All right, then 150 at Sandown. Cheers, Jay. Yeah, I was unlucky. You're quite right. He was never put in the race that day. This race last year, I mean, everyone's singing about it, aren't they? You look at what took. I mean, Cranbo obviously goes for the stayers next week. What do we make of this, Tracey?
Oh, I love it. I love this race. And for your subsequent season, then the Open division for your staying handicap hurdlers, it's just time and time again we found horses to follow for next year. So this is the one race probably of the whole year for me for a notebook one. And it often gets forgotten about, or probably doesn't get the attention it deserves because of Cheltenham. So again, even better then to be finding these horses. And I think we've got a really good lineup this year as well. Loads of previous winning form. And yeah, that mark for Hastings, it could be blown out of the water. But not for me, though. I like Asta La Pasta.
Asta La Pasta for Dan Skelton. Make the case.
Yeah, well, another one then bidding for a hat-trick, as is Fireflyer in here. But the step up in trip is what I'm really keen to see from him, because I think everything that he's done over 2 miles so far has been a bonus when you look at his pedigree, because he's a half-brother to Cup Final, owned by JP McManus, trained by Nicky Henderson, then Ben Haslam, rated 146, a proper, decent 3-mile handicap hurdler. His dam, of course, Asian Maze, a very, very smart 3-miler, and 3 from 3 over that trip as well. So for all these by walk in the park, I actually think it's been a bonus, everything that he's been doing over 2 miles. So I'm keen to see him over the 2.5. And yeah, I still think this mark of 124 is very likeable.
That's a serious pedigree, isn't it? Asian Maze. Hot race kills?
Yeah, and that's the thing about if you want to jump on the fav who might be thrown in, then you need to be prepared for 5 others to be thrown in as well. Yeah. And that's the thing, because we've seen just how much higher in the handicap the likes of Cranbo, Crebley and Cuthbert Dibble are from last year's race. So there's going to be more than one horse that's lobbed in. And yes, Hastings wasn't put in the race, and he was a massive talk of social media afterwards. Yeah. Being held up in the slow run race obviously didn't help. He could be anything, but then so could loads of the others. I've backed a couple, Champagne Twist and Tara's Halls. Now they finished first and second in the race at Doncaster last time. Tara's Halls the time before that had been beaten 7 lengths by handstands at Newcastle. So, I like the fact that Champagne Twist beat him by just as much, but Tara's horse was fairly tenderly handed that day as well. And you talk about horses for money. Tara's horse was 40 to 1 on Wednesday night. It was 25s after the decks on Thursday, and it's 12s now. So there has been money for him, and the money was long before myself and Tom started tipping him. I think he's got a good chance. He's going to really stay well, and so is Champagne Twist. Like, it's not going to be an easy race to win. And, I can't, I'm quite happy to see Hastings win at the price he is, but it's not for me.
Sue Smith, of course, Tarasol's. Henry Brooker's really riding well at the minute, isn't he, as well? He's a good man to have on your side. This race, Gio, I mean, Kills is mentioning horses there that will probably go on to running Grade 1 Novice Company, all that sort of thing, handstands and stuff. These are horses that sort of set out on that route and then find themselves handicapped in this. You've got to qualify, of course, by running in an EBF race.
Yeah.
And the target trainers come to the fore. Ben Pauling, for example.
Yeah.
And you like not Champagne Twist, you like his other one.
Yeah, I like his other one, Pick Rock. I suppose the argument against him is that Hastings beat him quite comfortably at Catterick, giving him £6, and now Pick Rock's got to give £4 to Hastings. So there's a big turnaround in the weights there. But I do think that ignores the fact that Pick Rock produced a big career best last time out, £13 best of Racing Post rating, and a big career best top speed figure, which is the best in this race. And I think that he took a big step forward from Catterick to Ascot. I've seen this with a lot of Ben Pauling horses. They just keep improving with racing.
Yeah.
He thrashed in the waterside that day at Ascot. Very, very impressive in the way that he did it towards the finish. I think he's improving. Whether he's improving quickly enough to reverse those places with Hastings on the different terms, we'll find out. But at the odds, I'm more than happy to take a chance on that, Dave.
We've not even mentioned Paul Nicholls yet in this race, have we? Firefly, who was Keels looking like he was going to fight it out for favouritism. He's been fairly easy to back.
Yeah, fairly. There's nothing wrong with him. It's just that I think there's a lot of interest in other horses. I mean, he comes here chasing a hat trick, doesn't he? But I mean, there's plenty of horses that you can, the market was also going to latch onto Hastings, and there's a few others. Obviously, with myself and Tom and other people tipping other ones.
Yeah. Then
he's obviously going to ease out in the market, but I wouldn't let that affect you.
That's the 150 at Sandown. There's an absolute belter of race. Next year's Cheltenham Stayers, hurdle horses, I don't know, novice chasers of the future. This is what it is. A reminder of the tips.
I'm going to go, I do like Tarasol's each way, but Asta La Pasta for the win.
Asta La Pasta. We could say that all morning, couldn't we? G. Rod, you're strong on this.
Yeah, Pick Rock for me, my best bet of the day.
And Kills, if you had to choose between one of your two?
Champagne Twist, just.
Champagne with a twist. What a surprise for Kills. All right, let's move on, shall we? It's the Imperial Cup. We've all got amazing memories of this race down the line with the likes of Martin Pipe. Used to actually get something capable of winning under a penalty at the Cheltenham Festival. We don't see it so much anymore. But J-Mac, what has been hot here? Some right old characters. Most have been running against each other all season. And you've got two at the head of the market.
Yeah, we're 6 places here, Dave. Obviously, it's the big bet race of the weekend, so we've tried to give help punters by giving them 2 extra places along this all 16 run. And again, you mentioned there's no bonus these days, but I have actually done some special prices just in case punters do want to back horses to follow up at Cheltenham. I think Making Headway is the shortest price. He's 66 to follow up in the Martin Pipe. He's not actually in the county, I don't think. As you'd expect with the 6 places, good spread of business. Bash's Reflections being well backed. Nick of Block of Glory's been well backed. And Bad has been well backed. He seems to be perennially well backed. But punters are definitely giving him another chance today.
Oh, thanks, Jay. All right. People going back in for Bad. Kills, want to come to you here. You and Tom have done the double. Making headway, and the double is, of course, it's price-wise and it's Sizzlers, which is Paul Kealy.
And Champagne Twist, isn't it?
And Champagne
Always
Twist.
worries me, actually got a shocking record together.
Are you surprised he's not in the county, this guy, then? Because, of course, if he's in the Martin Pipe, that's going up in trip. This is, of course, the horse that beat Hastings.
Oh, no, he definitely wants... He's definitely going to want a trip.
So what's today, then?
Well, I like the idea that he was able to do... I know he managed to steal it from the front, but he was still able to win it and find plenty... over a trip that's probably too short for him, and you will see improvement from him. And we know that Oliver Greenall and Josh Guerrero are a pretty shrewd outfit.
Oh yeah.
But, so I think this has probably been the plan for a while. But they would hope for a bit of deep ground to make sure it's a test, and then head on to Cheltenham. But I also like Sombruit for Paul Nicholls. He looks another that's been just laid out for it. Came over from France, won 5 of 10 hurdle races in France on soft or heavy ground, had 1 run for the yard over 2 mile 3 furlong at Doncaster, was way too free. and didn't find so much. He wore a hood in France. It's back on today, dropping in trip. I did a preview with Harry Cobden on Thursday night. He said he is very free. Going to have to bury him. But you've seen your share of Imperial Cups won by horses cutting their way through the pack late on. So I think he's going to be a massive player too.
Yeah, this is not a race where you want to try and make all, really, G, is it? I don't think.
Knickerbocker Glory nearly did it last year, didn't he?
Well, you tipped him last time, of course.
Yeah, depends, doesn't it? How fast they go. I mean, yeah, if you can get an easy lead, then you want to be up front, don't you? Always. He ran well last time. Knickerbocker Glory. He's got a really good chance again, hasn't he? Lights really testing ground. I think that will be the key. That form last time at Newbury, the Betfair Hurdle. Go Dancy was third, Favois was fifth. I think Knickerbocker was sixth, and Spirit Dono was 15th. I think was the four that ran in it. I think Favois was the one.
Big eye catcher, I thought.
Yeah, he ran
last year's
really
county
well.
hurdle winner. What's he doing here?
He's coming back to form, isn't he? Right at the right time. He comes to himself at this time of year, and we've seen his best run so far this season was last time. Of course, everyone's going to say all of his best forms on good ground, and it's heavy. That's the argument against it.
Is he going to get a run in the county this time?
Well,
is this why he's here?
I don't know. We'll see.
Because I would have thought he had a fairly lively chance in the county this time.
12 o'clock today we'll know, won't we, for the county, if he's going to last minute pull out of this and go there. But I'm pretty sure he'll go.
We'll get the 6 days, won't we? And we'll find out how much further he moves up. You've got to remember, there's loads of double entries, so it goes up a lot.
I think so. 8 of the last 10 winners of this race had a Cheltenham Festival entry going into it. So despite the fact there's no bonus, Kate, it is still the race of old.
No.
What do you like?
That's the thing, like I say, no bonus, but that was kind of my first way into this race, was to figure out who's going to want the £5 penalty to get a run, an assured run, then going to Cheltenham. And yeah, Favois, I was just interested to see if they did a last minute switcheroo if we get to about 12 o'clock then and Favois goes there. But to be fair now, I saw on British Andrews's social media there the other day, she put up a funny post about Favois saying, is he going to behave himself for Harry on Saturday? So I'm pretty sure they're confident that he's going to get a run. And it was a vote yes or no, is he going to behave himself? So he is an inconsistent type, but he is very talented, as we know, as we saw at last year's festival. But Gypcop for me, despite a little bit of market weakness here, but the quick turnaround for him. And he's proven previously he can take a quick turnaround just over 6 days, because he dotted up, didn't he, at Huntingdon the other day, 5 lengths and a really easy one as well. So I think that this £7 penalty actually sees him pretty well in, probably about £2 or £3, I would predict. But yeah, he's one of the horses where clearly Connections think enough of him, because his British and stable Davy, he was chucked straight into the Triumph Hurdle last year. So yeah, that was quite an ask. And he came over with a mark of 127. So a mark of 124 surely sees him well enough treated. And he won back-to-back races when he was training in France 11 days apart. So he can obviously take it well. And I'm glad that the tongue tie and the hood are back on him as well, because I think that that's what saw the improvement last time. Another
horse wearing a hood. That leads us towards Bad, of course. We've got to mention Bad, haven't we? You've got a similar profile to Gypcott then, haven't he? Because they chucked him into the Boodles. He has been a Marmite horse all of a sudden, kills for people. They don't know whether he's quite putting it all in or whether he's yet to have his absolute ideal conditions.
Actually, I always thought he was a weak finisher, but then he went 2.5 mile last time at Ascot and he stayed it really well, and I don't think he did anything wrong there.
Yeah, he came clear with the other horse, didn't he?
I mean, you've got to remember, he's still only 5, isn't he? I mean, give him a chance. He's I think he's steadily improving, but it's very steady. If you know what I mean, So he's definitely got a chance.
He's had the wind up. This is second run off it. He's had the pieces. You just wonder if Ascot was his day.
I mean, it's not going to be a surprise if he's there jumping the last, is it?
No.
But whether he sees it out as well as some of the others.
We should probably mention Spirit Dono. His course form is really good on heavy ground, isn't he? Is he unbeaten at Sandown on heavy ground? I think somewhere along that.
You've stolen my line. I was going to come to
tip him,
Keels McCaskill. I'm not tipping him, actually.
Right.
No.
What are you going for?
I'm going to go to our weatherman, who actually, this time, you should get it right, because you live very close to Sandown.
It's going to be sticky as hell on the hurdles track.
It's drying, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still going to be sticky as hell on the hurdles track. It always is when it dries out there, because it's been bottomless for a while. It's going to be quite holding. It won't be at all bad on the chase track, I wouldn't have thought, but on the hurdles track.
Glue.
Yeah, it's interesting to see John Canoe in here, isn't it? My old favourite.
Oh, John Canoe.
John Canoe, the classic. He really reinvented himself well, and his form is stacking up quite well. Niall Houlihan takes the ride. Oh God, Keels yesterday. We can't go without mentioning the ride of the season at Exeter.
Unreal.
Dun dun dun. As Goshen goes and gets up on the line.
Goshen, I actually wrote. I said my eye was immediately drawn. Goshen's running in a handicap with 1-3. Then I saw it was a chase. And anyway, I promised myself and pretty much everybody else I'm never tipping him again.
And what
Guess what
happens?
happens?
Yeah, it was never in doubt. Wasn't that a great moment
What
yesterday?
a horse!
Oh, just fantastic. Niall Houlihan could not hide his absolute excitement on winning on that. That was absolutely brilliant to see Goshen come back. Right, tips then in the Imperial Cup. We've got one more to come off Sandown after this. Who have you got on top, Kate? Jipcott on top. Gills.
Back two, I just prefer Sombre over making headway.
Interesting.
I'm on Favois.
Favois all the way. Yeah, I can see Favois going well also. Right, let's move on to our final Saturday preview race for you and see what we've got coming up. It's a novice handicap chase, I can tell you that much.
Where Kills better not be the bumper.
Is expected. Who have we got in?
What, the 437
We've got
at
the
Nace?
437 at Nace coming up.
Definitely not
Hang on,
that.
the producers are
Definitely
getting
not
up.
that.
Dun, dun, dun. There we go. It is the 335 at Sandown.
What is his favourite horse?
Yeah, Golden Sun.
What? Should we give a bit of context to why Golden Sun is a bit annoying for you?
Yeah, well, I saw him at Warwick first time up. I thought he ran really well behind Iroko.
Yeah.
And then followed him the next two times. Thought he was an absolute certainty when he ran at Newbury. Travelled like a dream, then just cut out. And he looked like he'd developed a profile of going through his races well, cutting out.
You napped him, didn't you? And he couldn't run it any
Napped him at
worse.
Newbury and just stopped to a complete walk almost. Had to be pulled up, having gone like the winner for most of the way. And then he turns up 2 weeks ago at Kempton, drifts like a barge. You think, he's just going to cut out
Marvellous,
again.
isn't it?
He's on like a good thing to beat Cheltenham out of Cheltenham.
You were standing with Keels at the time as well, weren't you? It was like, I think he's going well, Rodders.
Oh, so frustrating. But it's a frustrating game, as Keels found out with Goshen yesterday.
Absolutely.
Can he back up Keels, this horse, Golden Sun? Now he's sort of showing his true colours a bit.
Well, he definitely could do, couldn't he? I mean, the runner-up smashed up the field in the Greatwood next time, didn't it? So, I mean, it's a good piece of form. You can't argue with it at all. I just wonder, he was up with the pace of fairway at Kempton last time. There's loads of forward goers here.
Yeah.
And that's what sort of led me to Cotmask. Now, earlier in the season, I was dead against him, so I thought he can't jump. And to be honest, I still don't think he can jump. If you saw the way he went through the last at Plumpton when he won last time, but he's getting there.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see Gary Moore in today's paper say he's a good jumper because he isn't. Or let's just say.
He has won around here,
he
of
has
course.
mistakes in him. Yeah, he goes well here. That's the thing. He does go well here. He was going well when he came down here, and he won here very easily. And it's that sort of setup again. Plenty of pace in the race, and that's what I like about it.
It was a very good ride when he won because you knew there were several front runners in the race. Harry Skelton, a couple of others tore off, and Niall Houlihan, he looked almost like he was detached at the railway fences, and then he just rocketed up.
Yeah.
At Plumpton last time, this looks like it could just be the next big handicapper for Gary.
Well, he might be. He's definitely talented when he gets the jumping right.
Yeah.
But you see him put a short one in at Plumpton and almost land half, on top of it.
Scarface reopposes, doesn't he? It wasn't much between him at Plumpton
Yeah, I think he was going to win easily though, Cotmask, wasn't he?
until the last fence. Yeah, I think he's going to take a lot of beating here today. Has anyone got any other angles in here? Golden Sun?
Yeah, Golden Sun. I'm going to chance that he's
marvellous.
going to back it up just to further G-Rod's woes then about this horse.
You don't know what to do with this one, do you?
No.
Yeah, that's it. If you've been stung by
Exactly
him
how you feel.
previously, you are going to have that hesitancy. Luckily, I wasn't stung by him, so I've still got that kind of naivety probably about him. But I just think going back again, right-handed. I think that's the improvement last time out. The cheek pieces as well fitted for the first time, so the cheek pieces are reapplied here. Going with the usual tongue tie, right-handed. You've just said there, G-Rod, about the form boost and the fact that this, what was it, a £3 rise that he then got for that?
Was that it?
So fair.
The time was quite slow at Kempton.
But Cheltenham did hose up, didn't he, last week?
He's
That was the
quirky,
second
but
that
he-
day.
helped
He
them.
won with a lot, yeah.
But I don't know. I thought Heroes was the bet, but he's out, isn't he? He's not
Oh,
on runner. So
Venetia's horse.
so I'll probably be sitting this one out now. But
That means the ground is definitely drying up on
Surprise
the
me
chase
at all
track.
if Golden Sun went and won again. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
I think Cotmaster's got a right chance here. You're strong
Yeah,
on this?
I think we win.
Is this your play of the day at Sandown today?
I don't think so, no.
I've got a feeling it is.
It might be.
I thought I might. It's that time of year, Kills,
It's that
isn't
long
it?
ago since I did it, mate. I mean, everything's in a haze, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
talking
It is.
about
All right.
Cheltenham for the last 3 weeks.
I think that is one of the better ones. J-Mac, let's bring you in here. Golden Sun looks like he's just holding on to favouritism at the moment, but I'd be surprised if Cotmarsh didn't actually go off Fav here, I think.
Yeah, it's been fairly weak, Golden Sun, but I still do think he'll be one of the key horses for us today. We've got a Harry Cobden special. Like you've said, Cheltenham boosted the form. It's the last favourite on TV, I think, with Cobden, Nichols, Johnny Dineen. I think it's going to be really popular with the general public. So I think Golden Sun might still go off Fav.
Okay, all right, well, we'll see that. You've got Teresita in there, of course, for the Wadhams. That's always probably capable of a little bit more. It should be a really good race. Again, let us know what you are tipping out there in Community World. That is your Saturday previews done, okay? Now we're going to give you an advert. Who fancies some free bets? Right then, let's welcome along on the line William Hill ambassador Sam Twiston-Davies, who is sitting on the eve of the week of the year. Sam, 8 Cheltenham Festival winners on the board. The real whacker, of course, last year. You must be absolutely excited like everyone else. But what exactly does family Twiston-Davies do in the lead up for the last couple of hours?
Pretty much business as usual, because although, yes, it is Cheltenham, we have runners here, there and everywhere throughout the week. We've entries Sedgefield, Huntingdon and such. So it's just about getting all the work done in the morning before heading on to Cheltenham.
What's going to be your first ride, Sam? Would it be in the Arkle, the second race?
I'd imagine so. Obviously, we have Master Chewy and Matata in there. Depending which way, what kind of happens with Willie Mullins is as to what Darryl might end up doing. So I think I'd end up riding Matata if Darryl went one way, just because obviously Tom Bells knows Master Chewy so well, and obviously I have the added bonus of being here and of having spent a lot of time with Matata.
I heard Willie, your brother, talking to Keels recently. That was a hilarious interview, wasn't it? And
I can imagine.
I mean, that was absolutely the blind leading the blind. It was fantastic. But he's right when I heard him talking about Matata, of course, which is for Simon Munir and Isaac Swade. He is something of a lively outsider.
Yeah, he's a free-going type who does get into a good rhythm. So what he will do is he'll put a lot of pressure on the others. He'll obviously need to step up again. But what possibly his weaknesses is that he's very keen and forward. Will then apply a lot of pressure to everyone else. So let's say if he is to get into a really good rhythm and he does seem in really good nick, he could put a lot of pressure on the others and really make them go and actually get the job done.
Is this the sort of ride that really suits you, Sam? I mean, you're kind of like to get on with it jockey, aren't you? I've been watching this season, Sam, without blowing too much smoke, and you've really got that strength when you need it. And I guess he's got one way of going then. We're going to tear off here, are we, and say, catch me if you can, get the others out of their rhythm.
Well, he is that way inclined. Actually had a good go on him this morning. He had a little jump around the school and such, and he seems in really good nick. And I think what kind of suits me with him is that I'm just not going to fall out with him. I know what he's like, and he's not one you'll ever win a fight with. So I think it's one just lay up his neck and hope for a little bit of luck along the way.
What time do you get up every morning, Sam, to do all the schooling and that?
Well, I rode him early because if you get him too involved, he can be even keener than he normally is. So obviously when that kind of chat was had that Darryl may end up on Hunter's Yarn, then been more so trying to make sure he's really fresh and well added on top.
Yeah, I guess getting him down to the start would be a challenge in itself. We wish you luck with that. Like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a few tipsters going for a value pick with him as well. Have you got a ride in the Ultima yet?
We've all been caught in there, but the problem is at this stage is trying to work out whether he'll get in or not, because he also has the option of the Cumure later in the week. But it's just very much who's going to run where and what's going to turn up.
So Sunday morning you'll be looking at those decks and then you'll know. When do you know, Sam, as a jockey, whether you're picking... I mean, obviously you've got Dad's team, which looks strong. You can rely on that, of course. Sam Thomas as well. We'll have a couple of runners, I think, on the week as well. But when do you get told that you might be picking up spares? Is it a long-term range or literally does it happen on the week?
Spares will be incredibly hard to get. Obviously, read that Harry Cobden's picked up a few, but back in years of old, you'd find out kind of the declaration. So the kind of 2 days before 10 o'clock, you'd have a fair idea. But nowadays, with kind of what looks like the strongest fields from Ireland, is that the spares become less and less, and the good horses are so hard to find. I mean, you look at the Grand National; it'd be my first year since I started riding where I didn't think I'll actually end up having a ride. So you do need a little bit of luck with any of these races, and it's nice to be. We're very lucky that we have Dad and Willie have a team here and they're keen to run and get them out. But then it does make it very hard to pick up spares because you're not really sure actually where they're going to come from.
You're making me feel ancient because I would say you're one of the senior riders there now at the minute. I remember obviously like all the other viewers when you first burst onto the scene riding Dad's horse, then went to Paul Nicholls, of course. You've been watching the title race from afar. Sam Sean Bowen unfortunately got injured, but Cobden was miles off, wasn't he? Is there a lot of chat about it in the weighing room?
Yeah, it's quite entertaining. The two lads are very good about it. I've been obviously having ridden for Paul. You always know when it gets to the winter and these kind of stages of the season, Harry was always going to be incredibly strong. Nicholls always kind of thrives March into April, and if it really does get down to the nitty gritty of it, Paul is going to be incredibly strong in April, as he always is.
Yeah, okay, all right. Let's concentrate back on some rides then. You've got the unpronounceable filly that's come over from France, Le Loyert, who's around about a 40-1 chance in the Boodles. This is a race, of course, you have won before.
Yeah, a long time ago, obviously, working for Paul. She's in good nick, obviously. She hasn't had that long to acclimatise, but from what she's done at home, it's nice, obviously, for Cyril Crowe and team to come over and bring the family over and hopefully have some luck. But as you know, the Boodle is an incredibly tough race. She's
been running over fences in France. What's Dad thinking here? Well, we can get in. Let's just see what we can throw some dice at the race.
Exactly. You throw enough muck at the wall, some of it will stick.
And I guess the Wednesday, is this the poster boy ride for you? It's Broadway Boy, of course, in the Brown Advisory. A lot of chat about whether he was going to go to the amateur race, the National Hunt Chase on the Tuesday. Here he is, though, taking on Factor File, maybe Grey Dawning, Stay Away, Faye, etc. We know he has got the Cheltenham factor, this lad.
Exactly. He's plenty of form around Cheltenham, so that's a huge positive for Broadway Boy. He's in good nick. Everyone's happy with him. I think the form he's got around there is obviously there for everyone to see. So I think it's a case of let's just hope he turns up on the day in good form and can run a massive race.
He will try, I imagine. I don't think this is one of these races, isn't it? And indeed one of these weeks where we know the sort of tactics. It's not like when you go to a jockey in the pre-parade ring and I don't want to give anything away. I don't want my rivals to know what I'm going to do. We know what this guy should be trying to do, right?
Yeah, with him, he's incredibly straightforward. He's a good way of going. He really tries and stays. I think the most interesting thing, if he is to turn in with a chance, is what sectionals Willie does up the hill rather than the horse.
Yeah, and if he manages to get home in front, I don't think we'll be seeing Keels and Willie again anytime soon, will we? Absolute scenes that'll be. Have you got a ride in the bumper, Celtic Dino? Is he going to go there for Sam?
It looks that way. Sammy's happy with him. He came out of Ascot well. It's a nice way of going. He's a pacey horse. He'd definitely be one to follow for the future. But the champion bumper, incredibly tough race.
Very impressive on debut, wasn't he? And then I think under the penalty back at Ascot, where he came behind Dan Skelton's filly and the Brookhouse horse, Brecon Castle in second as well. It's pretty good form. It was a really honest run. He looks like a stayer of the future.
I'd very much hope so. Obviously, Di puts a lot into the game, so nice to hit him to have some good horses going forward. It looks like it'd be a beautiful novice hurdler for next season.
And I guess lump sum, you're just waiting to see what race he gets into, Sam. I mean, it's the conditionals, isn't it? But you were, of course, on him at Kempton last time. Is he still a horse for the viewers that will have something to offer?
Very much so. I think he might end up waiting for Aintree. Just obviously a flat, quick track would suit him really well. So I think there's a lot of options open to him. Yes, Cheltenham would be a dream, but at the same time, as with Aintree, it's definitely play to his strengths.
Sam Thomas being patient with him. I mean, with the Jericho Repenay form and, of course, winning at Kempton a couple of weeks back. He wouldn't look out of place in a Supreme, so that's interesting. That's breaking for you guys. Maybe lump sum will be waiting for Aintree. You can definitely see him suiting that. Anything else on the week that we should be talking about, Sam, before I let you go?
Can't believe you forgot the real whacker. Obviously, he'll have a go in the Gold Cup. Paddy Neville, all the way through, has been very insistent that this is the one race where he'll have him absolutely primed. Got off him at Cheltenham last time, and he had a big smile on his face. I was, at the time, a little bit disappointed that we'd got beat, but at the same time, he was really confident that going forward, this is the race where he's going to be absolutely primed for.
It's great to have a ride in that. Oh, I haven't forgotten the real whacker. Having backed Jerry Collarm in the Brown Advisory last season, Sam, I'll never forget the real whacker. And it does look like Patrick has kind of done the old target training here, isn't it? Quite old school, this. Martin Brassell's sort of form, but this. Get him ready for the right day. It's a hell of a race, isn't it? I mean, you take out the favourite even, you wouldn't know what would go off second, Fav. It's a belter.
Exactly, a hell of a race. All the way through, I was kind of, when he won a Brown Advisor on a horse like him, you're just thinking like you're just going to win everything the next season. So every time I was getting off a little bit down, you just see Paddy as going from race to race was getting happier and happier, and it kind of is all now starting to sink in that this is really his target the whole way through. And let's fingers crossed, turns up on the day and hopefully can run a massive race.
You've always had a cheeky smile about you, Sam. You've got it this morning on the show as well in this interview. Will you actually enjoy it next week, or is it just a relief when it's all over?
It's a tricky one because when you've had a little bit of luck around there, you're so hungry for more of it. So you do end up probably at times leaving a little bit disappointed. But if you are lucky enough to ride a winner there isn't a feeling like it.
Yeah, and you've already had 8 of them, so I guess the pressure's off somewhat, isn't it? Listen, we wish you, Dad, Willie, and the team at home all the very best. All those outside rides, we'll be screaming home the whacker for you as well. Sam, great stuff.
Thank you very much. I hope you and all the viewers have a great week and a bit of luck.
£10 a month for 3 months. Get involved. If you're not part of the members club at the Racing Post, this is the time to do it. If you could have any sort of interest in the Cheltenham Festival next week, it's an absolute must. And they're basically giving it away, guys. So go and avail yourselves of that. Right, we move on with the show. Great to have Sam Twiston-Davies on. Absolute legend, isn't he? He's got a couple of outside rides later on at Sandown. But that was all about the Cheltenham Festival. I got a feeling he's quietly confident of a good run from Matata there. All right, shall we go across the Irish Sea and beam into Johnny Dineen? Because we're going to be picking up the Irish angle now. I can hear, look at John, I tell you what, John. You can tell you've done every preview under the sun, man. Fashion's gone out the window, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm not the most fashion conscious of individuals anymore, Dave, to be honest.
Oh, and the voice is nearly going, John, as well. You've got a big week coming up. You look like you're a drone pilot as well there.
Yeah, no, I'm relaxing now today. I have a day off, so I'm taking it easy. I'm waiting for a doctor to ring me, so I must get a few little steroids or something to clear up an old chesty cough. But apart from that, I think I'm ready to go.
Well, yeah, I think probably no one has done more previews than you, John. Let's have a look at the crowd at Gowran today, though, if you don't mind, Johnny. You've done your usual Saturday column for us, and I've seen the nap. It goes in the first.
Yeah, look, it's a banked 2-horse race. The ground will be horrendous, really, really bad, and so that won't be a problem for first or the second favourite. But I just think getting £15, Tranquil Sea. Getting £15 off the top horse, who ran all right in Navan, ran well actually, but I'd say it wasn't a great race. And look, I just think every bit of pound, every little bit of weight is a help in conditions like this. And like you're getting 5-2 maybe to turn over about a 6-4 on shot. The rest don't count. I think it's a cracking bet. No, I would make it a 50-50 coin flip anyway. And at the prices, I'm definitely going to be in the side of the second favourite.
Well, the punters have read your article, John, because it's now 6-4 Tranquil Sea and 13-8 on Angostura. So 2-horse race in the opener. Before we go and have a look at Sunday, and we're going to keep you around for Cheltenham chat, John, as well. This bumper looks a bit tasty, doesn't it? It's always been won by some very good sorts. Journey with Me, Tully Hill last year, of course. And there's a hot pot in it.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I don't know a lot about it. He won. It's a point-to-point bumper, but it's invariably a really, really hot race, the likes of the ones you mentioned. Plus, you can go back to First Lieutenant winning it, and I'd say Bob Ollinger might have won it. Look, it's a really, really hot race. Obviously, this guy's a big reputation, but there are horses like of Elliott's, the horse of Henry de Bromhead, even What's Your Problem ran well in the maiden hurdle. His nibs mightn't be totally out of it either. He ran all right in a bumper in this. So, look, the favourite, like, it's very hard to oppose Mullins in these races, but it does look a deep renewal, and the price he is, I think I'd leave him win now at the same time.
Yeah, all right. Port Gillane, do you know much about this horse? It's Richie's horse. Girls, do you?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. All
Nothing
right.
at all.
Okay. It has been smashed off the boards. 8:15 on now with William Hills. All right, that's Gowran. Tomorrow, you've got Limerick and you've got Naas as well. We've got the Leinster National, Johnny.
Yeah, the Leinster National, I suppose it probably revolves around Manila Kakuna. He's like a novice in against a whole host of probably exposed horses. He's 9-2 there. It's probably a fair enough price, to be fair. I don't think he'll be much bigger. He's a choice of Paul Townend, and for Paul Townend to throw his leg over him so close to Cheltenham, he must fancy it anyway, because there's no way he'd go near a horse like at this so close to Tuesday and think that it couldn't possibly win or anything like that. Like years ago, the better jockeys wouldn't even ride at this meeting. So it is a statement of intent that he does ride him. It is a 3-mile chase, but he has good novice form at the same time, and he was a good novice hurdler. And like, if you took him out of it, okay, Heart to Dark is a horse that is unexposed. It's a nice racing with, but the rest of them are like Espinito, Bello, Max Charm, them kind of horses. They run in these races all year round. There's nothing hidden to those horses. Now, while Manila Kakuna could be a fraction soft, but he did run against like Nick Rocket and those horses the last time was favourite to even beat him in Navan, and that's good form. I wouldn't like to be laying him at 9-2 anyway, I put it that way to you.
Yeah, he's 9-2, J-Mac. Let's bring in Jamie McBride up at Hills. This is going to be a hot betting race. No, Cheltenham Festival or no Cheltenham Festival, right, Jay?
Yeah, it's a good race. Johnny makes a good point about Paul Townend. It does seem to be picking and chooses his rides this weekend. Jack Kennedy's riding. Maybe the Jockeys Championship's got a little bit to do with it. I thought Manila Kakuna maybe could have run a little bit better last time. I know it was good horses and Nick Rocket and American Mike, but he was beaten a fair way. But on his previous run, he probably is the one to beat.
All right, that's 4:37 tomorrow at Naas, then on a Sterling Sunday, just to whet your appetite before the Cheltenham Festival. Johnny's going to stick around for us, but now we are going to talk all things Cheltenham, and we're going to do sort of a, Morning Post random, let's see where it goes, Cheltenham Festival preview. Kills, I want to come to you because we now know where Ballyburn is going. I honestly thought we wouldn't know until tomorrow. Thank God it's over.
Well, I was just hearing Johnny croak in the background then, and I think that was part of the reason.
It's done you in this, John, isn't it?
Yeah, it hasn't helped. It hasn't helped.
So, Johnny, we now know that he's not coming. The banker of all bankers, as your good friend DJ said in the week, he goes to the Gallagher Novice Hurdle, now Baron Bingham, Ballymore, on the Wednesday. I guess we'll be looking to see what trainers now fancy switching from that to the Supreme as well. I mean, Slade still runs here for Henry de Bromhead. We'll know, of course, at 10 o'clock tomorrow, viewers, what goes in the opening race on Tuesday. I'm going to have to be with him, I think. I think he's still a horse that I want to be with. So, again, I don't really know what I'm going to back in the Supreme yet, Johnny.
Yeah, look, I agree, Dave. The Supreme is wide open. I mean, I wouldn't argue with anyone that could make a case for any one of at least 5 horses. You could say the likes of the Mullins pair, Tully Hill, Mystical Approach, Slade Steel, Jericho, the Repine, and Firefox. Like I could see how anyone could fancy any one of those 5 horses. So, and plus you have the other ones in behind it that'll maybe like tell her the name and that. So the fact that Ballyburn has gone into the other race makes it a a wide open race. They're going a bit further on the field, and I have a feeling Firefox will be easy to back myself. I think he can't get any shorter. I'd say Tullyhill will be favourite, without a doubt. There seems to be a lot of confidence behind Tullyhill in the last day or two. So, and I'd say Mystical Power is another horse that won't be popular in the market. I'd say the two popular horses will be Tullyhill, and I'd say Jericho the Ripone, who's supposed to be working real well, he'll be popular too. But it is a tough race now, and the fact that Ballyburn has got into his race, he's going to weaken that race, because you'll have the likes of Slade Steel going 2 mile, and you'll have some of the horses like Gidley Park. Well, it probably was going 3 mile anyway, but he's definitely going to go there now anyway. So when it comes to I'd say when you look at what Ballyburn has to beat, when you see the final decks, it won't be a lot probably.
Yeah, all right, okay, that's the Wednesday. Kills, did you want to interject?
Yeah, just a lot of talk at previous circuits about Mr. Giff of the Mullins, and if you watched them, I went and had a look at his Limerick win, and the one thing he scores very heavily over Tullyhill and Mystical Power is that he can jump, and he can jump really well. He's really slick. His form's a mile behind him at the moment, but he had a fair bit of experience in France as well. I mean, Darryl Jacob was saying it's the horse he's most looking forward to ride, and given the fact that Hunter Jarn's half his price, and a lot of people are tipping him up for the Arkle, it piques your interest for sure.
Simon Munir and Isaac Swade put up a schooling session of Mr. Giff. They're very good with that on Twitter. He absolutely...
He's lightning, isn't he? He's lightning. He reminded me a little bit of when Binocular was really good. He was over them that quickly.
Yeah.
Just reminded me a little bit of that. Now, I mean, I'm not saying he's any Binocular. I just don't know enough about him. But
let's concentrate on the Supreme
really
a little bit more. And this is a race, because you've got 15 runners in there now. Willie was responsible for 9 of them before Ballyburn exits. That shows you that there can't be that much between them, can there? We've got some real unknown quantities.
He's got all the horses, though, isn't he? That's
what I
the
mean.
problem. Like, you know what I mean? So there could be loads between them.
But you could get prices about them, but you are going to get prices on them, right?
Yeah,
so, like Mr. Giff, what is he going
to do? He's shortened steadily and steadily and steadily.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the 10, I think, now.
Yeah. Let's go to you then, Jamie, here, because I'm asking what price he is. I was surprised to see him as short as 10s, and Kills has nailed that one.
Yeah, he is 10-1. Like you've been saying, he has been a bit of a momentum horse. I also saw the schooling clip on Twitter. Yeah, he does look a good slick jumper. Yep, he's definitely one of the momentum horses. Like I say, we're 3-1 Firefox, but that's purely because of liabilities. I think on the day you'll get bigger him, and so yeah, there's still. I think Slade Steel is one we're under. I think he can still get 7-1 elsewhere. I think that will definitely shorten from the 7-1 if he's confirmed for this race.
Yeah, he's also I'm a massive fan of. Before we come to Kate, tell us about this race, what you like in it.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago I said to you, I don't think Ballyburn will run if Paul Townend is desperate to ride Tullyhill, and that looks the way it's played out to me. So I'm quite confident Tullyhill will do the business here and get Mullins off to a flyer. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, obviously, because I don't have any contacts at the Mullins yard, but I'm half guessing that the reason Ballyburn's gone elsewhere is because Townend wants to ride Tullyhill. If Townend wants to ride Tullyhill, that'd be good enough for me, because how many of the top ones at the market has Mullins got? About all of them.
They're all there, aren't they? You could be sitting on this on tomorrow morning, couldn't you? Tullyhill, potentially. You never know, do you, with what string
I'd say not. I'm more down the handicap route for the horses
that I end up riding. It worked out a couple of years ago for you, though, didn't it? Everything you were seeing on 10 to win there.
I know,
Johnny says Tullyhill will go off Fav. Graeme likes him as well. What about you?
I don't have any real strong opinions in this year's Supreme, but Firefox, I think I'd have to forgive last time. It was a weird race at Lawless of Naas. I thought going into it, I really liked it. He's another horse, though. He's just a very efficient jumper.
Yeah.
And considering that he started his career over hurdles, then went back down the bumper route and then came back over hurdles again. I mean, he's beaten Ballyburn. And I know people can crib that form somewhat and the advantage that he gained. But yeah, last time out, I can draw a line through it and forgive it. I just know that horses that didn't win last time out in the Supreme don't have a fantastic record, which is a concern.
They've done 9 out of the last 10, is it? Usually winners, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Jamie hit on a good point there. He said that Firefox's favourite at the moment, but he doesn't think he will be. Now, you've got to remember, we may have been talking about this for weeks and months and whatever, But the anti-post volume is a tiny percentage of what the on-the-day volume is going to be. You're going to have massive market upheaval in a lot of races.
It's exciting, isn't it? And isn't it lovely to actually be talking about a race that we've got more of an idea of the shape of? The Supreme, one of the best horses, it comes out of that every single year. What is it for you? Now, we're going to be led by you guys out there now because we've got some social media naps coming in, I believe. And let's see where we go with this. Tom Leach always usually opens up the show on Leachy. Kilbeg King in the National Hunt Chase. Nice each way anti-post bet.
Yeah, really fancy him. He's one of my best bets on the first day, Kilbeg King.
I mean, I threw to you not knowing that.
No, the Honey Monster's already booked Will Biddick to ride, hasn't he? And
Honey Monster.
And I like that. I like that form last time out. Ascot behind Henry's Friend. I would have actually liked Henry's Friend. I don't think he's going though. I think he's going to miss the festival. Ben Paulin says, but. That run, he was behind the French flying machine, wasn't he? Well, I can't remember what it's called.
Il
est Francais. Yeah, he was behind that. I thought that was a good run. And then he looked like a real strong stayer, I thought, at Ascot last time. So I think he'll improve for a step up.
Yeah, I agree. And you've got to take on the front two there. I really can't stand either of them.
What do you mean you can't stand either of them?
Hold on, this is his nap.
That's why I said it.
I'm going to put you off that. Can I talk you into cash?
This is the moment.
Can I talk you into cashing out, please?
You can. I don't do that. I don't do J-Mac's job for him, I can tell you that
right,
much.
I mean, Corbett's Cross has ran 4 times and not jumped particularly well once, and Tom Siegel's absolutely convinced he can't stay. Now, Embassy Gardens got run away with last year in the Albert Bartlett.
That's not happening this time around.
He was way too free. Let the occasion get the better.
If you pin your hopes on that, man, you're going to come up burnt.
He's running 2 novice chases this year, small fields. He's been kept away from all the other runners.
The latest of them was a strong form race, and he absolutely destroyed them.
He's been kept away from other runners. He's all right in small fields when he's odds on.
This could well be a small field.
And the others aren't off.
Absolutely ridiculous.
The moment he feels the whip, he will curl up and say, no thanks. He's an absolute hound of a horse. Only ever won at odds on.
Paul Kealy, you're doing a Graeme Rodway all of a sudden.
Honestly, I don't think he's got any chance whatsoever.
Are you sure you don't want to change your nap?
I'm certainly not changing my name. If anything, it's made me stronger. This is the one next to my name. I know it is. Johnny Dineen. He's just called Embassy Gardens an absolute hound.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't go that far now, but I do think that he might have a soft centre, though. If it comes to a struggle, I could see him checking out. Yeah, I could. Like, I suppose the thing about this race is you're not guaranteed to get the trip. Like Embassy Gardens or even Corbett's Cross, for that matter, they're not absolutely stonewall certainly to stay. And Corbett's Cross is jumping. You could definitely pick holes in that too. I suppose they've got good jockeys on them, the front two in the market, and there is huge confidence behind Corbett's Cross. I think he's found in the market that 7-4 at the same time. I'm not so sure I'd back against him, but I'd favour him over Embassy Gardens now, Corbett Cross. But whether I actually want to back him to win the race is another matter completely. Look, I do fancy him, but maybe not enough to play the cash on top of him at the same time.
That's the National Hunt Chase then. An absolute hound, he's been called, Embassy Gardens. A soft centre, says Johnny Dineen. What they're forgetting is he's going to sit last and he's just going to steam up.
Well, because he always sits last.
He'll fly over that. You saw what he did last year.
He's keen, mate. There's no way he's going to sit last.
If he's keen,
if he sits last, he definitely won't win because he's keen.
This wins. This wins. It's been a long-term plan. This wins. Absolute hound. I cannot have that. Check me out of that. Right, J-Mike. Let's get you up because you've got your liabilities. This is something we've been doing every week. You've been telling us, and they've been changing rapidly. We've seen some really interesting ones. I remember about 3 weeks ago, maybe even a month ago now, we put up Brave Man's Game, didn't we, as one of your worst liabilities, and he's now since come in for support as well. But these are the sort of name horses that you get. What have you got on the list?
Yeah, a lot of handicappers in there. I think we've got the 8 worst results coming up. Yeah, the Goffer's #1 at the moment. Firefox has entered it now because obviously we're giving all the money back from. Well, it looks like we're giving all the money back from Ballyburn, from the Supreme, from non-runner money back. So that's turned him into a shocking result. Kingsfield is a lot of the ones at the front end of the market you'd expect. So, I mean, there's nothing too self-inflicted in there. If lots of the front end of the market will win, we'll just have to take it on the chin.
All right, win, take it on the chin. I like that. Okay, there you go then. Let's get the list up then, Kate. The Goffer at the top. Charity race last time. I mean, he's looked out of sorts, hasn't he? But if you stopped the race last year when he's turning in, you think he's going to win. Is he on your radar?
No, he wasn't one of those on my radar. A few of them, I mean, Langadan obviously is. Again, we talk about horses coming good at this time of year. Yeah, I think that Langadan, he has to be the fancy again then in the Coral Cup. King of Kingsfield, really likeable horse. I just still don't fully trust him to go through with it.
Interesting.
I thought that 6-1 he was probably worth taking on with. So, yeah, I'm hoping that the bookies will be saved on that one. But, yeah, there's no real surprises in that list from what I can see.
People still backing Chantry House, despite the fact that he's been on that list from the start for the Potemps, of course. We spoke to Nicky the other night, didn't we? And he seemed a bit weak on him.
Yeah, I mean, people love this old horse coming back, dropping down the handicap, and you know, he's in here because he ain't a Gold Cup horse anymore. He's not even a chaser anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, he might win. You've got till Thursday, so you can get to see a few of Nicky Anderson's other horses run as well. Obviously, you've got one runner today. One runner
In the Mayor's Bumper.
One of, if not the biggest yard in the country. One runner on a Saturday in Britain. We know that.
Does he always have a lot of runners on
I think
Imperial
it had more
Cup
than
Day?
that. He had some in the Imperial Cup and the EBF, I think,
Right.
at the 5-day stage. 9 pulled up in his last 15. I mean, that's rank for an average trainer, isn't it? Not, you know, let alone.
Is anyone else worried about that? Like,
I
really
think
worried
you
about
have to be worried. I'm dying for him to come back because obviously I'm heavily involved in under control in the county hurdle. And you want to see the biggest trainers in Britain be right at their very best. But if you're a punter and you've got to put your, you know, hard head on and have no sentiment involved, you've got to worry about it. You've got to think about it.
John, let's bring you in. We've got Crebley down the bottom there. I've heard you singing about nothing else but this over the last couple of weeks. 7-2 now for the plate. Woo!
Yeah, look, he's found in the market now at the same time. Surely can't get too much shorter, you would have thought. Look, I do fancy him. Like, the fact that he's into 7-2, would you back him now? That's another. That's up to yourself, really. Look, I do think he's a good bit in hand, but he will still need to a bit of luck and running, and he'll need. I've seen horses like this before that they get shuffled out of it early on. I mean, it is conceivable that he gets into bother early on and he's put out of the race. So look, I'm hoping that he puts in a good round of jumping, and if he does, I'd expect him to win. I do think he is a lot in hand in 140. I do think he's probably one of the best handicapped horses of the whole meeting, and I'll be amazed if he jumps round and doesn't actually win.
All right, okay. There you go, pretty much that time then. Anything on that list that you want to have a pop at? Or anything you want to have a pop at all?
No, I want to have a pop at. I could see Shishkin running really well. I mean, he must have a huge chance of the Gold Cup if he jumps off and gets into his rhythm, mustn't he? I mean, he was going to absolutely bolt up in the King George. For me, anyway, I think he's always been a better horse than Galopin de Champs.
This is your lay of the week, isn't it?
I just think there's an awful lot of horses in there that can beat him. Shishkin being one of them. I think if Jerry Colomaz comes back to form, I think he could go really well. There's a lot in there.
You're sitting next to him. You shouldn't be surprised by any of this, Gills.
Jerry Colomb is a good horse, right? And at the start of the season, don't forget what Gordon Elliott said at the start of the season. He said, I don't care if we don't win another race. The only race that matters is Cheltenham come March. He'll have that horse right back to his best.
What's his best? Getting beat by the wheel whacker or beating him?
He should have won,
isn't
isn't
it?
he?
I think he should have won last year.
Plus, of course,
but it's a stone below. He's got to find a stone at least.
He's one of the most polarising horses now, I think, old Jerry, because he was hard second favourite in the anti-post markets when we started the jump season, and yet so many people were disappointed by what they saw at Leopardstown because we thought we were going to get a Royal Rumble, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, exactly that, but we didn't. And I do think he performed below his best anyway, but as Keel said, still on his best. He has plenty enough to find, and he will want the ground to be quickening up throughout the week as well.
Sort of a forgotten horse, Kills, isn't he, Jerry Colomb?
I've forgotten about him for sure.
There you go. Exactly.
I intend for that to stay the same, though.
Where do you sit with Galopin? Is he a lay at that price?
I think I wouldn't lay him. I'd probably try and bet against him. I pretty much expect him to win. I think he's I just think he's an exceptional horse, and I don't see.
Do you think he's Cato Star best mate? You know, that's what we're talking about.
Well, the rating suggests he's not far off.
Hang on a minute. Cato Star Album Photo is definitely a better horse than Album
That's what I was going to say. If you would, where would you
Absolutely,
put
definitely a
Album?
better horse than Album Photo. Best Mate might have won 3, but he won 3 of the worst Gold Cups you'll ever see. He was way better than them, but he wouldn't have won. He wouldn't have won the Gold Cups won by Imperial Command
Poor
or Don
Best Mate.
Cossack or any others like
how
that.
can you hit him
You
with a
don't,
stick?
you know, you don't become brilliant by winning a number of races. You become brilliant by putting up the performances in them. And Best Mate's best form was below several of subsequent Gold Cup winners who only won 1.
Yeah.
So let's not, you know, just because you've won that many, it's what you've got around. Now this is a strong race. But I still think he's a very deserved favourite on what he's done. He's put up 2 massive performances. The one when he beat Brave Man's Game last year, and the one when he won the Savills. And if he's in that form, something is going to have to run up to Demon level to beat him. There
we are. John, what price do you think Galloping will go off at if I had to press you?
Look, it will all depend on how Mullins is going throughout the week. I mean, there was one year here where he was having no winners Tuesday, Wednesday, then he had a bag of winners Thursday, and then all his horses immediately shortened on the Friday, and a lot of them won too. It was like Vauban, Stateman. He even could have had a 3-1 on the Friday, but every horse that you had on that day went through the ground. So it'll depend on trainer form. The same with Henderson. Like Shishkin could go off 25 to 1 if well, that's probably an exaggeration, but could go off 16 to 1 if his horses were running like if he's had no winner and Sir Gino getting beat, Shishkin could be any price you like. So a lot of the prices will depend on stable form, but I'd expect him to be definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, no matter how many winners Mullins have, at least odds against. I'd guess about maybe 5 to 4, 11 days.
Up until you gave me the price, I felt like I was talking to Rishi Sunak then. You went a brilliant way around the answer. And then around about 11:08. Jay, what do you think he'll go off? Of course, remind us what he currently is trading for the Gold Cup, last year's winner.
5 to 4. He has been a little bit weak in the last couple of weeks just because of the strength behind the likes of Shishkin, Brave Man's Game, etc. They have been really popular. I've just been multitasking and checking Friday's confirmations just to make sure nothing untoward's happened. I think there's some bad news for Paul in that it looks as though Under Control hasn't been entered in the county, but all the other big guns looks as though Galloping.
This time of year, it's not actually bad news, is it? Because it's not run a no bet. Now, if she's ill, I've got my money back.
It looks as though you
said that with a sort of smirk on your face as well, Jay. You're a bit worried about what Kills was going to say there.
No. Like I said, just make sure the likes of Sergino and Galloping Deschamps have all been entered and have. Luckily.
All right, okay, not entered under control. I mean, it sort of adds a bit more weight, doesn't it, to the sort of endo thing? Whether it's right or wrong.
Apparently, I mean, he said the other day she had a real bad trip up to Kelso, which didn't help. So whether
I find it hard to believe that Henderson won't get it right. Right. How many times have we been here before? How many Cheltenhams has he been to in the past? Henderson, how many times has he walked out with no winners? Not very often.
Yeah.
I expect they'll get them right.
And of course, we've got Iberico Lord going into the Champion now. You've been doing the anti-post game all through this winter. Which of yours are you strongest on? Which one were you really excited about your anti-post portfolio? Do you have one?
Are you deliberately trying to pick this out? Do you want to know my 4 that I put up at the start of the season? So Johnny Who for the Albert Bartlett, he's about the only one still standing. Queen's Gamble was for the Mare's Hurdle. Obviously, she's not going to go. Irish Point for the Sayers Hurdle. That's been fantastic, hasn't it? And a Marine Nationale for the Arkle. So they were my 4 at the start of the season.
Shows you how difficult
it
is to get
I've had
there.
a great time.
All right, okay, all right. Johnny Who is a horse that you've been banging the drum a little bit about?
Yeah, I like him. It's just pedigree-wise, he's absolutely crying out for a step up and trip on run style. He's absolutely crying out for a step up and trip. So yeah, and the fact that he's had to have the kitchen sink thrown at him the last 2 will give him a bit of experience as well of being in a.
Yeah.
It turned into a sprint last time out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It turned into a sprint. It doesn't suit him at all.
If you watch the shallow, he's coming back, isn't he?
His dam's a 4-miler. Yeah. He's a half-brother doing fine. It was 3 mile 5 around Sandown. So yeah, it's all stamina with him.
All right, that's the Albert Bartlett on the Friday. Right, we've pretty much covered everything, I think, guys. We've got the Cheltenham Naps coming up for the panel very shortly. They're going to be boosted. What wins the Gold Cup, Kate Tracey?
A Gallopin, yeah. We're just putting them into the levels there, and like I think that he is actually a better horse than Album Photo. So differently campaigned, of course, but yeah, I think he's a dual winner.
What's the horse that you're most looking forward to trying to have a go at getting beaten, Kills? One of the shorties.
Corbett Cross and Embassy Gardens.
I think he just said Corbett's Cross there, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he did. There's a lot of white noise coming on. You?
I think State Man's far too short.
This is why I'm here this morning, G.
He's far too short. I mean, he is a good horse, but he is not an outstanding horse. I mean, all the Grade 1s that he's won in Ireland, I mean, there's not an outstanding 2-mile hurdler in Ireland.
There's not an outstanding 2-mile hurdler anywhere.
Not yet, but I mean, there's a lot of
problem. What's it
unexposed
gotta
ones
be?
running in that Supreme. I mean, the Champion. We're talking about the 2 Henderson horses. If Hendersons aren't badly outsourced, certainly I think Iberico Lord is a serious player. Lucia, I think, is a player. I think she can improve.
The first 2 from the Greatwood.
Take a look at the best horses never to have won a champion hurdle. The likes of My Tent or Yours, the new one, right? They were rated higher than State Man is on Racing Post ratings.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, what price would the new one be, a peak new one be, in against this lot? I don't think it'd be the kind of price that State Man is.
No, he wouldn't. Well, it's the Willie factor,
so.
isn't it? But he does just turn up and win, and we know he likes the track, doesn't he?
I mean, he's obviously the one to beat.
You're going to try and get him beat.
He's obviously the one to beat. I'm not saying he ain't going to win. I'm just saying he's incredibly short price, considering that I don't think he's achieved all that much, winning a bunch of weak Grade 1s in Ireland.
There we go. All right. So I asked them, and that's what you got. State Man, too short? My goodness gracious me. Right. Okay. The Cheltenham Festival naps are coming up. Okay. Let's get them up on the screen. These are boosted. And, yep, I'm at the top. 3-1 about the resolute galloper that is Embassy Gardens. They're just forgetting it's Willie Mullins and Patrick Mullins.
The only person
absolutely
in
mad.
the world that
He's
was
one of the
called resolute.
chasers, novice chaser of the week, that's actually been trained for one race as well, which everyone seems to forget. Anyway, I think that will be an end to day one for Willie Mullins and Patrick winning this again. 3-1. Lovely boost. Kate Tracey.
Yeah, you've got a nice price there. Look at my 6-5, the shortest one on the list. But yeah, I mean, I was struggling to really nail down a nap at this year's festival. But yeah, Factor File for me, though, 6-5, I think is a very, very fair price for a potential superstar. The old Florida Pearl route, bumpers to fences. And I know people will say, well, it was a non-event last time out. But the fact he still posted a solid time, the sectionals were really likeable there. I think it's more testament to his ability than anything else.
Yeah, for JP Manners. J-Mac, when you looked at this boost to 6-5, was that one of the tricky ones for you out there? Because this has just been backed as if, it's already won, hasn't it?
Yeah, he is very popular. I think he is going to go up on the shortest prices of the week, and it still could end up being a 5-6 runner race, I think. It looks as though we're going to lose Grey Dawning, and I'm sure there's a few more that'll avoid him as well. So, yep, he does look as though one who will desperately need to get beat, especially with I think Wednesday is shaping up to be Ballyburn, followed by Factor File, followed by in race 4 Alfa Biolo. Okay, so we'll need one of those not to get the treble up.
Great, the first mention of the Maltese. Yeah, it's usually the Tuesday, isn't it? But this is looks like it's the Wednesday.
Willie's Wednesday.
Willie's Wednesday. The Honey Monster. You're on form this morning. Cut yourself with a razor a few more times, I think. Okay, that's Factor File then. 6-5. These are live now, guys, until 1 p.m. So get involved. Get on the app. Get on the website. You can go and avail yourself of 6-5. How low could he go, Factor File? All right, Paul Kealy, Liberty Hunter, going to knock it out the park in the Grand Annual.
Yeah, like him a lot. I mean, I do like Matata, you see, because Matata just got beat by JPR1 last time, and Willie Twiston-Davies said he had a bad back then. And Liberty Hunter beat him quite easily at Cheltenham. I know he's getting a fair bit of weight, but I think that's a really good bit of form. So he's got Cheltenham form, he's got Harry Cobden booked. He's going to sit 5th or 6th, charge up the hill afterwards, get the job done.
Good to see the Rucker colours back with a proper player as well, and long-standing owners that have been around the game. All right, then, that's out to 12 skills. You can get a bit of that. Now, Graeme Rodway, napping in the Champion Chase.
Yeah, no one seems to like this one. I don't know why.
This is the nap.
Yeah, I think Edward Stone can really seriously shake up El Fabiolo. I think he'll definitely beat John Bon. So I backed him to win this race. I backed him without El Fabiolo, which I think Hills are offering. Jamie might be able to tell us, but I saw 5-2 at some point with Edward Stone without El Fabiolo. But I backed him to beat El Fabiolo as well because I thought that he just looked right back to his best last time out, didn't he, at Newbury? He went off like a scalded cat from the front, and he had everything in trouble, and I've never been convinced by El Fabiolo's jumping. I think that if Edwardstone can get out there and really stick it to him, might see 2 or 3 sloppy leaps in behind, and all of a sudden El Fabiolo could be on the back foot. I like the way as well that he's been campaigned this year. Now, I know that he had less runs last year, but he came in after sort of 2 or 3 peak performances, quite hard races. He had that race where he got beaten by Editeur de Gite, where he had to dig really deep coming in to the race, and he got fresh by Energumin last year. This year, I just think King's taken a bit of a slower approach with him. You know, he definitely wasn't fit first time up when John Bon freshed him. There was a lot more market confidence behind him at Sandown, which suggested they thought he'd come on. John Bon still beat him. But then he was disappointed, obviously, over 2.5, but he was far too keen. But last time out, peaking at the right time, I think. I think that he's been brought along nicely by King for this race. I think he'll run his best race of the season here. Whether he's good enough to beat El Fabiolo, we'll see. But I think he can definitely shake him up, get him on the back foot, and we'll see what El Fabiolo's made of.
You've napped him, man. So, all right, there you go. Edwardstone, Graeme Rodway in the champion chase. Johnny Dineen.
I know, I like it's on the line. Look, I do think that the Irish amateur jockeys have a big edge over their British counterparts in most instances anyway. And Derek O'Connor on this, look, it's probably between it and Ferns Loch. Ferns Loch is probably the sexier horse of the two. He's probably the stronger traveller. Maybe, I wouldn't say he's a better jumper, but he's probably a more accurate jumper, a more fluent jumper. There's nothing wrong with his on the line. His jumping's fine. But he's more of a lazy type, whereas your man is more a free-going, sweet-moving horse. But I do expect that maybe on the home turn that Ferns Loch will look to have the beaten if it's on the line. But if it's on the line, as I think he will, gets within about a half a length from, it's absolutely all over. And it's on the line, will wear down Ferns Loch. And once he can get near him, he will definitely beat him. He has to get him into a struggle, and if he does, he will definitely beat him.
It's all over. I love it, Johnny. Okay, and of course now wearing the famous green and gold. And to finish off your final Cheltenham Festival naps, this is of the whole entire week. You're making it easy on yourself, Jamie McBride.
Yeah, I've gone for Gabby's Cross in the Potemps final. I think he's still plenty of scope in his mark over hurdles. He's struggled a little bit with his jumping over the bigger obstacles, and I think the Potemps is going to be the weakest handicap of the week. You've got disappointing horses like Chantry House and Ikera Len at the top of the market. So Gabby's Cross for me.
There's your Cheltenham naps then. Good stuff. Out to 14-1 Gabby's Cross then. Put them in a multi, whatever you want to do. Enjoy it. This has been the Morning Post. We're pretty much done and dusted. Great to see you again, Tracey. Good luck dropping your saddle off.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, exactly. We're going to go and have a nap first, and then we'll be ready to go again.
Love it. Great to see William Ambassador Kate Tracey in with us. Great to see Graeme Rodway on typically a brilliant form.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Looking forward to next week. Can't wait.
Yeah, you're down there?
I am down there Wednesday and Thursday.
Beautiful.
Great week.
Are you down there all week?
Tomorrow morning and back Friday morning.
Yeah, okay. And loads of content, of course, coming your way on our YouTube channel, and you'll be seeing all these faces throughout the week. Johnny Dineen, I do hope this doctor calls you soon, John.
He's just calling me now. Would you believe this? I swear to God, I gotta go.
Keep us on the line, John. Yeah, we don't want to know what's going on there. If you see the great man at Cheltenham, don't go anywhere near with him within a metre radius, all right? Might be your last. Brilliant stuff to have John on, as usual. Jamie McBride, it's been absolutely fabulous to run up to Cheltenham. How does it look for you, Jay, next week? I'm sort of imagining sort of smoke coming out your ears until the final horses come over the line.
Yeah, there's plenty going on. Obviously, we've got 2025 markets to think about. We'll have loads of social requests to deal with, and then you've also got to keep up on top of the sort of related contingencies, like if a certain horse wins the Supreme, what does that mean for the Bearing Bingham, and which form lines are looking strong, etc., etc. So there's plenty going on.
Yeah, it's almost like the calm before the storm for you, Jay, isn't it? I wish you and everyone at William Hills all the very best. Right, guys, enjoy it. It's the biggest week of the year coming up. Don't forget, though, Sandown and Wolverhampton to enjoy this afternoon as well. I wonder who will win the Imperial Cup. All the very best. Cheltenham Festival coming up. Enjoy it.